Would you look at that? Oh, they're so beautiful. No matter how many times I use my tumbler with the stainless steel pins, oh, the outcome always amazes me. So these, of course, came out beautiful, nice clean primer pockets. Down inside they're clean, and you won't be able to see that, but whatever, just trust me. These are clearly. So hey, welcome to journal number 2 for 556 reloading. This one, so we left off in one with our cases decapped and the military crimps removed, and then today throw them in the tumbler. With my tumbler, so with like once fired stuff, what I usually do is I put them in the tumbler. I use standard, dish soap, about 2 tablespoons of standard dish soap, and then a tiny bit, like a 1/4 teaspoon of Limashine. I run them for 2 hours, then change out the water, and then run them again for, well, as long as I can stay patient. These, I think I ended up doing about a little over 3 hours of total tumbling time. So two hours with the first batch of water, and then about another hour and a half with the second. Still, so 223 stuff, you still end up with just a tiny little crusty bit, inside of your primer pockets. But it's incredibly small, and I don't know if it's the nature of the primers or what, because you take something, scares me, like, I don't know, here's some blazer brass from 9mm and they're spotless, but it seems like 223s always end up just leaving just a touch, but it's so little I'm not going to worry about like scraping it out of there or anything. These are clean and ready to go. And brass like this for AR plinking ammo, I'm not going to worry about any additional uniforming of the primer pocket or deburring flash holes or any of that crap. We're just going to resize these guys, trim them, chamfer the mouth of the case, and then get to reloading. Get to dumping powder, seating some bullets, and heading out to have some fun. So I did count them. I still haven't kind of done a sort. I'm going to do another inspection and sorting as I'm resizing. But I did count these guys, and there were over 500. It was like 504, not including the 3 or 4 I called during the initial. So yeah, super happy with this purchase. This was a good deal. Sometimes you run across them. I'll be using the Dillon case lube. This is the alcohol and lanolin stuff. I've got a big deep cardboard box. Just put enough in there so it's one, kind of one layer across the bottom. Shake your stuff up, and then I go a little bit nuts with this stuff. Usually like, I don't know, about 6 sprays, and then shake them around. A couple more sprays, and another shake, and then you let them sit to dry. And you definitely don't go forward until all of the alcohol is has evaporated and you're left with just greasy filling cases from the lanolin. So I'm going to set this aside to dry. Okay. Now this is another batch that I had already sprayed, I don't know, about an hour ago, so they've had a ton of time to dry. So these guys are ready for the resizer. So let's just get to it. I'll be using Redding die. So this is a full-length sizing die, small base full-length resizing die from Redding. I've got a set of the RCBS AR series small base dies as well. Those work well. If you wanted to, I've got another video in my beginner 9mm series that I use those dies, but for this I'm going to use these. Yeah, so pretty much any resizing, I just set it to where it makes good contact and then kind of cams over just a touch. I've got my shell holder in, and this guy's already tightened in, locked down, ready to rock. So it'll just be running through them. And then as I size them, I'm just going to give them a nice inspection, see what's going on, and hopefully start sorting them. I think I'll just sort them into like 223 and 556 because there are a couple different 556 head stamps. I'm not going to go beyond that. Like, yeah, this is a Federal 223. And that's a Federal 223. That is Lake City 556. PMC 223. Getting some really slight dings in the neck, from over lubing. It's very slight, but it's there, and it kind of hacks me off a little bit. I didn't feel like I really over-greased these guys all that much. So see how it goes. Maybe I might need to wipe off the neck a touch before I resize them. It's not bad. It's just very slight. So I'm going to start making my way through these guys, and I'm sure I'll be back with another insane comment here in a few. Getting down to the last of it here. Everything's gone really well. Kind of like I was thinking before. So those are the 556s and these are the 223s. It's like 75, 25, 60, 40, maybe something like that, which is just peachy. I did find one guy here that I'm going to pull out. It's just a little chewed up. So yeah, other than that, everything's looked good. I got a couple funky necks here that have just been dinged up, but they shouldn't be a problem. Tell you what, I'll just do them right here right now. A little crunchy going in, but looks perfect coming out. 556. Alright, so I'll finish these guys up and we'll be ready for trimming. Alright, winding right down to the end here. Everything's just gone. As expected, nice and easy, no problems. So there they are, resized. And next up is trimming. So I generally use this, and then yeah, I usually just grab some screws, tack it down to the table so it doesn't move, and it does a nice job. I think I bought one of these Lee jobs that goes in your drill for another video series I'm about to start. I'm thinking I might just use that. It should go as fast or faster, and maybe a whole lot faster if I can get a rhythm and get some technique down. So, yep, let me get set up for that and we'll get started. Oh yeah, this is usually not a whole lot of fun either. I think I just showed you the, this is what I normally use, and it's a kind of a pain in the ass. So I'm going to try this Lee cutter and lock stud, which came in this little case conditioning kit I had bought for another video series that has a primer pocket cleaner and a chamfer tool. So you get the cutter and lock stud, which are universal, and then you buy cartridge specific case length gauges and shell holders. So this is, this is 223 here. And let's see, how the hell does this go together? Yeah. The length gauge screws right down in there. Had some trouble with this guy in the previous video. Grab it here, just kind of, the threads are a little crappy, so there we go. Now it's all the way in. But no, I was an idiot and grabbed it down here and kind of scarred it up. You can see some of that stuff. But I've used it some, and it doesn't seem to be jacking up cases too bad. So yeah, I'm gonna try it. Let's see. Okay, so we got a drill, and then the lock stud goes there, and then this guy screws on the and let's start over here. So we get our brass spinning, and then this guy goes in through the flash hole, and then yeah, it starts trimming. Fuck me. Okay, let's try this again. Make sure I didn't booger up the case. It looks fine. Okay. What the? Okay. I guess I'm just not tightening it enough. I used this thing in a previous video and it was fine. I don't know what the hell. I mean, this is doing some serious digging in there. I mean, this is this needs a lot of trim. Let me get it started before I bring the. That was better. So she's trimmed. That actually felt really cool. Yeah, I was working on that side there. And come on. fact that my drill's about to die, this, yeah, like you just feel it go, you know, right down in there, and then it stops very nicely. Tell you what, let's measure a couple of these cases and see how shit there. Okay. I got 1.760. 1.760. I thought trim length was 1.750. 223 Remington. Yeah, max case length 1.760. Trim length 1.750. Let me double check myself before I wreck myself. Yeah, it's zeroed. $17.58. Tell you what. Let's see what they end up being. For that dude, so that would be basically finished. Huh. Double check myself. Look up in the light. Yeah, that's all the way down. I got it to go a little farther. Yeah, that completely bottomed out. Yeah, so that took off a little bit more. That looks a little bit better. Yep. Hit this guy again. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, that guy took off a good little bit. Yep, 1751 and a half, 52. Perfect. I tell you what, I won't make you watch me figure all this crap out. I'll get my flow down, and then once I'm kind of up to full speed, I'll turn the camera on so you can see what it looks like. Yeah, when it's not a freaking idiot trying to figure something out for the first time. finally getting my flow down here. Not getting in a big hurry because I'm taking this opportunity to give that really good final inspection. So I'm gonna have other people shooting these. I really don't want to hand anybody a split case or a split neck or a case head that's separating, or any of the problems you see with brass as it wears out. So this is going slow. I'll tell you, I'm digging this little Lee trimming kit. I've stopped measuring them. They're all like 1752 and a half or 1752. Incredibly consistent too. Let me see if this one will make a liar out of me. 1752 and a half. Every freaking one is 1752 or 1752 and a half. It's remarkable, honestly, because a lot of it's this drill, but when I put this case in here and I tighten it down, I mean, how much freaking wobble there is. It's the chuck, because when I had this in my other drill, it wasn't quite as bad, but there was still some, and it's like, man, how is that going to cut consistently with that flopping around? But tell you what, you throw it in and there it is. It seems to be cutting square enough for this sort of ammo. I'm just going ahead and getting the chamfering out of the way. Say last inspection, and then as I'm putting them in the box, they're ready for priming. That'll be the next step. So this is pretty critical step here. I just really want to give that brass that inspection to. We'll measure another one, see if we can get this one to make a liar out of me. 1752 and a half. I am just really impressed. If it was freaking cutting these things all crazy, or you wouldn't be able to get readings that case length readings that consistent. So. And this thing seems sharp, like really sharp. It's not taking much to cut these things. One more here. Yeah, what I'm saying is, like, the drill. Oh, there's just not a whole lot of work going on. Well, how I was like removing the military crimps on the last journal. Like, my hands were all freaking crazy, and I had Band-Aids on there trying not to get blisters because I was really having to get a hold of that case. This is not that way at all. I mean, you don't even need to grab the knurling. You just grab out here and run the drill a little bit, and you can see the brass peeling off. And then as soon as it stops cutting, you really feel it, feel it loosen up there, or start spinning much freer. Okay, one more. 1752 and a half. I'm absolutely shocked. So, okay, you've seen enough evidence of that. I am not going to finish all this tonight. This is going to be an ongoing thing. So I'm going to do a few more. Maybe I'll turn the camera on one more time. But yeah, this guy's just about over with for the day. So before I kind of wrap this up and quit for the day, I saw John had posted a comment in the last video asking why I didn't use the swager on the Lee press. And to be honest, it was just a matter of bench real estate. I already knew I wasn't going to use the swager, and just needed this area to run the drill. So I just went ahead and popped it off the bench. But I just threw it back on here. I grabbed 4 pieces of crimped brass from the other bag I bought, and let's go ahead and give it a try. I don't expect it to be an issue. Oops. Take that guy out. Well, I wonder if this is going to fit. Yeah, it's fitting, but just barely, which is just fine. Alright, so take one. See if one of these will go on here far enough to use. Get on there. There we go. Okay, guide it up on that pin. This is tell you what I need to do is grab one that's already been swaged, or yeah, so it'll actually go on there, and I can set the die. Yeah, it's setting this upper die. It's kind of a little bit weird. Okay, there it is. So you're supposed to put a piece in, put it all the way to the top, and then tighten this down, like, I guess about as tight as you can go, and then back it off, and then go like increments of a quarter of a turn. So like there's a quarter of a turn. Okay. So yeah, this not having a nice flat spot on the bottom, this is a little bit of a pain in the ass to use on this press. It kind of just not enough room and not enough nice flat area there at the bottom. And then at the very top, actually I could hit that with a Dremel, but there's just a little bit of a kind of a seam there where the press is put together that kind of snags up on it right there at the very top. But I don't think that's going to interfere. So it's set close enough. Let me go ahead and try. Okay, and up and pop it off. That looks about as good as any other I've swaged, I guess. Let me take it down another quarter of a turn. Yeah. So the press definitely has enough balls to do it, no doubt about that. No big deal. If it wasn't for having to guide that stupid thing on there, they should have made it to like a sharp point. No, they can't. That's what contacts the bottom of the brass. There's really no way around it. It's just getting it all lined up, and that sort of crap slows the process down. I mean, I can't imagine doing that process to all 500 pieces of those. You know, that would have been even worse. I mean, it was bad enough with the drill method. But yeah, there it is. And I did notice the last video I didn't really give kind of an image of what that is. And yeah, the instructions just, it's got this little groove around it that they'd say you just line up that groove with the bottom of the die, and then, you know, tighten this guy, and yeah, that's about it. So yeah, this will definitely do it if you are a masochist and want to go with this with a swaging. I know like the Dillon brand, and I think there's one other brand. They're like a little bench mounted unit with a little, it's a little dedicated swaging setup where the brass like lays down in horizontal, and there's like this little handle thing, and the ram just goes and swages it. Those aren't nearly as clumsy as this, but listen, for 18 bucks, I think it was for the drill. Where's it go? There it is. Yeah, like 18 bucks for that guy. I'm just going to go with that. So, all right, that's enough for whatever journal number we're on. What is this? 3. So, yeah, I'll get back to these guys tomorrow. That's kind of my weekend project, getting those guys done. So, all right, see you next time.